and welcome. So today I'm going to do a stitch with me on one of my full coverage pieces. This is called Castle and it's by Eder Rosa, and it's a Stitch is So Beautiful chart. I'm working this one on 25 count 1/1 full cross, and as you can see I haven't done very much, but anyway, I'm here now and I intend to get a few little stitches while I'm here, so please join me, grab a drink, and if you want to stitch it'll be great also. I might get a little bit interrupted by the cat because she doesn't seem very settled today. She's been yowling quite a bit. She's not in pain or anything, she's just having one of her days. Call it cat tantrum, and hopefully she'll settle down and not disturb me. So I'm going to start stitching. So as you can see, I'm working sort of diagonally but very loosely at the first at the corner of this chart on the top left, and it's working quite nicely for me. What was I going to say? I was going to say that I have been meaning to do Stitch with Me's for the past couple of weeks, but it's just been one of those periods in life where everything seems to go wrong. There's been challenges, there's been family dramas, there's been all sorts going on. Okay, are you going to settle down now? Just settle down there. That's it. Okay, good girl, good girl. So there's been all sorts going on and my brain has been taken over by all of these things. There was a few days where I couldn't even touch my stitching. Yeah, it's just one of those times when you kind of pull back and need to conserve your energy for all the things that everybody's chucking at you. So it wasn't ideal. So no Stitch with Me's during that time, but I have wanted to get back to doing this. And the last ones I did were called, I was doing a chart called Moon Witch by Artisy. I was working on that chart throughout the end of October. Well, most of October, I think I was working on that chart. Didn't get a huge amount done, but that's okay. Doesn't have to be. We're not in a race or anything. And I'm kind of getting used to this. Hey, leave that. Kind of getting used to this 1/1 full cross because I'm normally a 10 stitcher, and having the, sorry, I just got interrupted there. I had to leave the cat with my husband because she's just going nuts and I can't concentrate while she's going nuts. Okay, so it's been such a month that I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to say. I don't know where to begin or where to end. And I'm not going to go fully into what's happened because I don't know. I don't feel like I can really go into family dramas too much because, well, one, I don't think it's fair to speak so much about somebody who hasn't asked to be spoken about publicly. Not that I would give, anything personal, but, if my mum or something was going on YouTube and talking about me, I wouldn't be very happy. So I tend to feel quite respectful about, not doing something like that. But just family stuff. And I'm okay though. I mean, it's nothing terribly serious. It's just one of those emotional things, and the same point where you need time just to, get over things that are done, things that are said, and move forward, which is what I'm doing. So I'm hoping that I am actually feeling a lot brighter than I was mid-month. And that's all that matters really, doesn't it? The fact that we need to look after ourselves, whether we want to or not, because life goes on. No matter what happens with family or work or anything in life, life just goes on. So yeah, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. So before I get deep into it, I want to mention that some people have asked me, and I have replied, but I don't know how many people check my replies and stuff like that. So somebody asked me about my Needleminder shop and why it was closed, and I said that I'd had a very short couple of weeks break where I haven't put up any new ones, and I had closed the shop. Not closed it, just put it on, holiday mode for a little bit whilst I gathered my strength after my little, very brief hiatus, and just had a little bit of a wee break, a little rest. So now I've opened it again, and I've decided to put up some beautiful Christmas collections of Needleminders. I've got a few here. I can quickly show you, which are all up now in my Needleminder shop. We've got dragon. This is just a very small portion. There's loads of them on there. Some beautiful sparkly cats. We've got a polar bear. This is my artwork. This is a drawing I made, about a year ago now, maybe. Or was it during the summer? It might have been during the summer that I did that. We've got a log cabin, London Eye, which I've been on when I went to London. Beautiful Christmas robin. I hope you can see the sparkle there. And a beautiful building there. Kind of looks, is it sort of like building in somewhere in Europe, or I don't know, like Russia or Budapest or something. Those beautiful turrets, dome turrets. And there's plenty more, so do go check out, because they do tend to go rather quickly whenever people see that the shop is open or that new things have gone up. So yeah, spent a little bit of time creating some new Needleminders, which was great, because that's always a great distraction if you're a little bit stressed and you're a little bit wound up. Oh yes, and the other thing that's been going on is my sciatica. I got the worst flare up, I think. But I think part of the problem with the most recent really bad flare up is the fact that I had been so stressed. And I think a combination of muscular, well, I know sciatica is nerve pain, but there is inflammation there. And a combination of the inflammation, the nerve pain, the tension in the muscles, the stress, the anxiety, all of that, and just being generally upset has made my whole body tense, has irritated the nerve even further, so it got so bad that the last weekend there was a couple of days where I literally could not walk. I was hobbling around my house and it was horrible, because you don't realize how often you need to bend down, turn around, turn sideways, not walk backwards. I was going to say walk backwards. Nobody walks backwards. But, sort of twist to the left, twist to the right. You make so many movements in a day that you don't really feel or notice. I tell you, once you've got muscular spasms or pain, as soon as you turn or something, or try to stand on one leg, well, it was pretty fierce. And I was actually worried. So I'm going to speak to the doctor about that tomorrow, because I don't feel like the painkillers that they give me are really helping with the inflammation. They do sort of help with the pain, but they're not really helping with the inflammation. And I know there's certain medications that I cannot take, but surely there's got to be something else. So I'm going to speak to the doctor tomorrow, and hopefully she will be able to give me some advice, because I literally, the thing with having that happen to you, like where you get where it starts to hurt so badly. It was all going down my leg as well, which is horrible, like intense pain, like burning pain going down the left of my leg, and that was horrible, and hobbling around. And yeah, the worst thing about that is I had a couple of appointments and I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to make these appointments with all this pain. But somehow on the morning of the actual appointment day, I managed to be able to walk, and it wasn't actually too far that I had to go. So I managed to do it, but I really didn't want to. And for a while I was worried that I was going to be stuck in the middle of the street or something. And the thing with calling a cab is that you end up struggling to get in, struggling to get out, and it's just, the buses are not ideal because you can get on the bus and they have like 2 seats for, disability kind of seats. They're always taken, and sometimes not even by people who actually have a disability. They're often taken by like teenagers and stuff who literally won't move when you come on. So it's not always like that, but it's not ideal. So I don't know. I'm just kind of like, whatever. I'll just stay in bed. So that's kind of how it's been, which is pretty irritating because it really cuts into all the things that I'm doing and planning to do and wanting to do. So I've planned to do a update at the end of this month. That is planned. And of course, stitching wise, it's been all over the place because I haven't even given it a huge amount of thought. I did work on about 3 or 4 charts this month, but one of them probably only got like 60 stitches or something, because my mind just hasn't been, I've just been away somewhere in my head, not really counting, not really thinking about it, not really aiming for anything, just sort of sitting there. And I was doing a fair bit of knitting as well, because I find the knitting is a little less, it's actually worse for thinking, because if you're knitting, it's such a monotonous thing that your mind can just overtake you. But with something like this, you actually do have to count a little bit, so you do have to pay a little bit of attention. And so, but I haven't done terribly, haven't done nothing. I've done quite a bit of stitching, but just, it's kind of felt like it's been all over the place though. Not a normal month for me, let's say. But that's okay. I mean, life isn't a straight line. It's up and down, sideways, back to front. It's all over the place. I mean, you never know from one day to the next what's going to happen. So I'm still here and I've survived. That's the main thing. But anyway, I didn't expect this to be, I don't want this to be like a pity fest of a video. So I'm going to just stop all that now. And also say thanks to those of you who reached out and did reach out in my Discord community. I always think I'm not going to post stuff about what happens to me because, who cares really? But people are so kind always when I do. So it's lovely to have that support. So thank you guys. I really appreciate your support in my Discord if you're listening. So let's talk about a few other things, which I'm also going to mention in my end of month update, which I'm hoping will be in a couple of days. Well, hopefully before the end of the month, I shall get that up. Although I won't have a huge amount of stitching to show, but I will show what I've done. Have I made a mistake here? No. 1, 2, 3. Here we go again. This is what happens to me when I'm counting and talking. So let's talk about the Hate Sal 2026. I am doing it. It's so exciting to watch floss tubes and listen to other people who are doing it and to see what choices they have made and why they've made those choices. I always find that really interesting. I decided, because I know you're dying to find out, well, some of you anyway, I decided I'm going to be doing the ship, which is called Battle. And I very nearly went for, I think it was, what was the other one I was thinking of doing? I think there was a couple actually. I think Fairy Tale I kind of liked as well. And the Stone Keep. Is it Stone Keep Cottage? I like that one as well. But at the end of the day, I think the ship won out because it just spoke to me a bit more. It kind of looks like a Tudor ship, like a 15th century battleship. And I'm all for the 15th century stuff. So I thought, yes, that's me. And there's something about the colours, the pinks mixed with the greys. I'm kind of loving pink and grey at the moment. Pinks mixed with the greys, mixed with the browns. And, you know, there is some blues in there as well. It was a lovely colour palette, I think. So that's what I'm going for. So I already have all my threads. I've ordered them. I ordered them and they came pretty quickly. And I already have some fabric like this one I'm using here, which is 25 count evenweave, which I will be using. And I think I'm just going to go like I'm doing this one, pretty much the same way. I'm going to start on the top left, 1 over 1 full cross, and I'm just going to work my way out. And I did and ah about doing tent. The thing with tent is that I don't like tent cross country. I don't like 2 strands cross country because there's a lot of carrying at the back with the 2 strands everywhere, crisscrossing all over. And that makes it really thick and rug-like and carpety. And whilst I don't mind it thick, I think with cross country 2 strands, it gets majorly thick. And I don't really like that. So I don't like tent in cross country, and I don't really want to do 32 count with 1 strand tent because no, I don't want to be bothered with magnifiers. So really for cross country, for me, it's either 25 or say 20 or 22. I found the 22 a little bit awkward because it's the hard danger stuff and it's slippy. The threads, these threads are slippy. However, if you don't park on the 22 count, I suppose it should be okay, right? Because there's nothing to slip behind if you don't park your threads. But anyway, I think pretty much how I'm going. The only thing that I'm concerned about with cross country, with 1 strand on this gridded fabric, is the grey colours, because I have been known to look at, say, one of these little, I can't find words today. My words have gone with the wind. Say one of these little white gaps here, one of these little empty stitches here. Sometimes because it's got the grey grid bit poking through, it looks to me like there's a grey stitch there already. And I'm like, is there a stitch in there or is there not a stitch in there? Because you don't see lines after a while, you just see a little grey dot. So I have to go looking to see, poking it with my needle to see if there's an actually stitch there. That's the only thing that I find a little bit difficult for me with grey colours, even light grey colours, and doing cross country on this fabric. So I was thinking briefly about using a different coloured fabric, but then for something like the Haidesel one that I've chosen, which is the Battle, what colour fabric would you use? If you use blue, you've got blue colours that are going to get lost in the fabric. If you choose a grey fabric, you've got grey colours that again are going to get lost somewhere in the fabric. It's the same issue without actually having a grid. So I don't know. I think I'll just have to deal with it, and that's it. And try to remember that there is a grid beneath when I'm working, and see if I can really see if there's a stitch in there or not. I'm just going to have to put up with that, I think, because the grid overall is helpful when you're doing cross country. It's just that when you've got lots of little gaps, there is no grid any longer. You don't need it, but also it just comes through as a grey little thing. I'll just have to figure that out. So anyway, yeah, that's the one I've chosen. That's the one I'll be doing starting January. The question in my mind is, what other ones am I going to have my focus piece next year? That's another thing I wanted to talk about, actually, is that I, somewhere before all the dramas happened to me this month, was starting to work on Riverwalk Charm to try to get it to 60% by the end of this year. Now, I don't remember how many stitches I needed, but I think it was I think I needed to do about 250, 300 a day to get to 60% by the end of the year, which wasn't difficult, but you know, some days it wasn't easy either. And I started off really well with that for the first week and a half or so, but then, yeah, family drama started, and I didn't stitch for 1 day, didn't stitch for 2 days, didn't stitch it for 3 days. So then I was already 600 stitches behind that goal. So then I thought, to hell with this. I'm not going to do it anymore, because I'm not going to do 600 stitches plus 200 stitches from yesterday, plus another 200 stitches from today. My head was just not there. So I put it away. Although I'd already gotten a good amount into it by that point. So I didn't keep it up because I just couldn't get my head wasn't there. But never mind. Again, it's just one of those things. It was unexpected. Doesn't really matter. It's all going to get done eventually. But yeah, there was the intention to try to get to 60% by the end of the year. That's not going to happen now. So we just have to move forward. So now I'm thinking, what am I going to do, and how much of this battle chart am I going to do next year? Now, I know I've heard a lot of people saying, well, I'm only going to do the 1 page. Just get my thread. I'm only going to do the 1 page because I want to just get the free Amy Stewart chart that comes with the 1 page finish. And I thought, yeah, that sounds okay. You know, even if I don't want to pressure myself into doing the whole thing or into doing 6 pages. I don't know if it's 6 or 5 that you need to do to get. I don't know if you get all the charts either. Do you get all of the charts if you finish 5 or 6 pages? I can't remember. There seem to be a lot more prizes. So I'm getting confused over what's what. I know that there's 3 charts that you can choose a chart from as one of the prizes. Maybe that's for getting the whole thing finished. I'm not sure. But all the other charts that were offered that you could choose from, I think one of them was is it called Elegant Plumage or something? A crop of a bird. And then there was Autumn something with a house. I like that one's okay. It looked a little bit AI to me. And then there was another one that was like something Venus. I can't remember. To be honest, I don't see myself really stitching any of those. They don't grab me enough, so I won't be bothered about if I get them or not. The Amy Stewart chart, I have not ever stitched an Amy Stewart chart, and I never thought I would, but you never know. We'll have to see. I might change my mind one day. I'd really like to just be able to finish something before that point. So yeah, I haven't decided if I'm intending to do 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, whatever. I haven't decided yet. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think initially I'm just going to aim for the 1 and then be happy with that. It shouldn't take that long. But I don't want to just, drop everything else and not stitch on other things. I've also got a couple of knitting projects I need to do. I still have crochet blanket, which I want to get back to and I haven't. There's tons of books I want to read. There's always like a pile of stuff that I want to do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to, anyway, starting that on the 1st of January with the rest of you guys. I know that people are doing all sorts of different things. It's just great. I wasn't up for it initially because I did not finish the 2024 sale. But I did finish the 6 pages, which is fair enough. I did manage to get all of the charts and finish the actual stitch along thing, even if I didn't finish the whole piece. And I didn't do it this year because I wanted to get more work done on the charts that I currently have. Let's mark this off. And then I thought, shall I bother with it this year or not, next year? And then I thought, well, if I kind of miss out on the fun community aspect of it. I don't really ever post in Facebook. I don't really ever use Facebook that much. I don't really like it. But I do like it for checking the groups that I'm in, which are like writing groups and obviously cross-stitch groups. But I don't like posting anything in Facebook. I don't like talking on social media. I find it, I don't know, a bit stressful. I'm just not one of those people that likes to comment on everything. I just never do. I like reading and seeing what other people say, but I don't really like commenting myself, unless I have to ask a specific question. That's different, but just generally, I'm not really into it. But community-wise, seeing everybody's progress, that I definitely like. And obviously, I'll be showing my progress here on my channel for you guys to see. So here's a question for you. I couldn't figure out whether what I'm doing here with a full cross and sort of limited cross country, I'd say this is quicker than doing 2 strands tent in the snake method. Because with the snake method or the rows, where you do a few stitches and then you park it in the row below and then you go along like a snake down, that can be really, really slow when you're doing confetti. But it can also be really slow with the full crosses here where you've got confetti. Because if you can imagine, like, this whole square is like, I don't know, 30 different colors. That's going to take you ages to, stop and start all those colors anyway. So I have been wondering, I don't know which one, really don't know which one is quicker. But I still think that tent generally is quicker than full cross. But if you're doing it stitch by stitch, then I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think it really matters. I think we should do, I'm always battling this in my head, but I think we should do what we like as opposed to what we think we should be doing to save time or that sort of thing. Unless you want to do, like, I don't know, 30 Hades in the next 20 years and you really want to figure out which one's quickest. But at the moment, I think this is working quite well for me. Never used to, but I'm sort of getting used to the 1/1, and I'm getting used to the limited cross country as well. So yeah, I'm quite happy. I think I might be starting my new Heder in this method. Although I don't seem to be able to get the 1,000 stitches that people seem to get doing this full cross country. Maybe it's because they go extreme and just finish out thread, but they do all the way down and get loads of stitches and then back up to the top and then go all the way down. Maybe that's the one where you get, I don't know, 600-700 stitches done in a day, that kind of thing. I just never seem to be able to get that much, and to be able to do that, I'd have to literally sit here for 6 or 7 hours stitching and not have a lot of confetti. Then I might be able to achieve that. But generally, with the 1/1 cross country that I'm doing here like this, which I'm quite lucky at the moment because there's big blocks of colour everywhere at the moment. Probably the maximum I could do in a day is 400 to 500. Because in between my stitching, I'm up and about doing other things around the house. So even then I couldn't sit 5 hours straight. I think if I did sit for 5 hours straight, I'd never be able to get up. I'd have to have somebody help me. Because I don't know if any of you have got sciatica, but if you sit down for too long, it can be pretty sore. So you do need to move around a bit. I am loving all these little greens and greys in here. I think it's looking really smart. So don't forget to let me know what you're working on, because I always like to know what people are stitching on when I upload a video. And I would like to get a couple of more videos in before Christmas. I won't be doing Flossmas or anything like that. I've never done it, and I don't really do small little things, so I don't think that's really for me. Unless I sort of invented my own Flossmas, I don't know, like if I was to do a countdown of stitches on each of my pieces from now till Christmas. When do people do Flossmas? Is it at the beginning of the month, or is it the 12 days of Christmas? I'm not sure. But I could do a countdown to Christmas videos where I do, I don't know, 100 stitches on each piece and upload it, something like that. It would have to be. Let me know if you've got any ideas for something interesting. And how would that be related to Christmas? That's what I'd like to know. Okay, if I take my eyes off my stitching, I don't know where my cross is. I've lost my cross. Have I lost it? No, not yet. Where am I going? Don't want to take my eyes off the needle, because then I'm like, where is my needle? Where is my first leg? Sometimes I lose my first leg and I can't find it to put the second leg in, which is always a bit hilarious. Okay. It's actually not too difficult to talk and do cross country at the same time. Not as much as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, so the thing with me is that I'm often in a tent mood, or I'm in a stitch full cross mood, and they're interchangeable depending on the weather. So we never know what we're going to get, whether it's going to be me doing crosses or me doing tent. It depends on how my stitchy brain wants to work when I wake up. But you know what? I don't really mind or care, because even if I change them around all the time, it's still, you can't even tell when it's framed. You just can't tell. But I don't know, there must be something psychologically interesting about doing that, which is more interesting than the actual doing of it. Is the question why, I think. It's more interesting. But if you think like that, you could always say to yourself, well, why do I do anything like this? Why do I do this like this and that like this? And when you start to think too deeply, you just end up back at square one and you don't know what's going on. Oh, never mind. So I will be, when I do my end of month video soon, I will be talking about again. So pardon me if you think I'm repeating myself, but probably not everybody who's watching this is going to watch the update, or a lot of people who are going to watch the update probably not going to watch the stitch with me. So it'll be, you know, just repeated again. Not word for word, but I will be talking about the Haid Sal again in my update. Stuff like that. So I'm wondering how long I've been yapping for and how long I've been stitching for, because I don't want to make it overly long so that it takes me a long time to upload. And what I will do, if you like, is I will come back again and do another one very soon if you enjoyed it. Hopefully in the next one I won't be complaining so much about my life. There's always that hope. But it's good to get things off your chest anyway. I do consider most of you my friends, and you know, you're always very supportive, which is great. So it's nice to come here and just have a nice chat, and also to vent a little bit. Not the whole time, but you know, because stuff happens. And it's usually family dramas that happen. Right, maybe I'll just finish this thread, which is getting shorter, which I've noticed that when I use a single strand, I can go a lot further with it. I can use more of the strand than when I use two strands. For some reason, I can't get to, I always get a rather too longish tail that I cut off with the two strands. And I'm pretty sure I'm wasting more thread with two strands than I am with one. Pretty sure. I don't think there's anything else that I have to catch up with, really. Probably remember now as soon as I stop recording, but I don't think there's anything else to say other than just how nice it is to reconnect with you again. Even if it was short and sweet. I don't know how short, but we shall find out. And hopefully you've enjoyed some of it. Now, how far can I go with this teeny little piece? What do they call it? Chicken thread or something? Thread chicken. I always get that the wrong way around. Oh, I'd like to be able to get these last 3 or 4 stitches. Oh no, do not come out on me now. Come on, you can do it. Because then I will have finished this colour inside this square. Just for the record, because I haven't said, I have done 1.24% of this chart, and I have done 70 stitches whilst I've been recording, which is higher than average when I do a stitch with me. I usually end up doing about 40 stitches, so I've done 70, and I've done a total of 1,985 stitches out of 160,000. So I've still got a way to go, but I really wanted to get some done on this piece, and have done for ages, because I restarted it with every good intention, and then I just never did very much. There we are. I did manage to get the last stitch, I think. No, I didn't. Gosh, I'm an idiot. Go back down there. Let's try again. This one. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong. No, I'm getting confused. Yeah. Still got one more stitch to go. Then I can end. Oh no, it came out. Oh, the battle with the little tiny end. I'm determined to do that last stitch, even if I've only got this tiny little piece. You are going in there, mate, whether you like it or not. Because I say so. Okay. That's it. Just going to end it down here somewhere. Right. That's my little stitching today. So I'm kind of going diagonal, but not diagonal. It's kind of funny. I don't know where I'm going, to be honest. I don't have a clue. I think I might go down in columns. I did a line here in blue because I thought there's a page, so maybe I could finish that page even if it is cross country. But then I'd already gone along the top. I'd already gone along the very top because obviously I got bored of the idea of doing a page. So now I don't know whether to continue down or to go that way. So let me know when you do cross country, even if it's limited. What sort of direction do you go in? Do you just continue outward diagonally? Do you column? Do you row? I don't know. This is a thing, always the trouble I have when I decide to do cross country is I could do the typewriter thing, but I don't really like that. And it's hard to explain why I don't really like the typewriter, because unless you're doing it and you can see the problem. Why I don't like the typewriter is that it, first of all, apart from the fact that it leaves a lot of gaps, like way too many gaps, you always end up with having sprinkles of stitches that are very far apart but of the same symbol, or not too far apart but are the same symbol, and it means that you've got lots of carries at the back. So to counteract that, what I do is, say I've got like one colour in this square and another colour that's 4 or 5 stitches, but they're separated, they're sort of spread out in the square. It makes much more sense to do those 5 stitches of one colour. I'm just going to pick a colour, red. It makes more sense to do the 5 red stitches that are a little bit spaced apart in the square, and then do the rest of the colour so that you can cover up the thread at the back. It doesn't make sense to me to do the whole colour 96 stitches in black, and then after that do the remaining red ones that are sort of spaced around, because then you're going over the black. I don't know, does anybody understand what I'm saying? Because I don't even think I do. But yeah, that's just that's why the typewriter method, it's too random for me. I like to be able to say, makes more sense for me to fill in these gaps here and then do the rest of this than it is to just do a whole random thing. Okay, well, that's just my opinion anyway. So there we have it. So thank you guys. Really great to chat to you again today, and I'll be back again very soon. Don't forget to let me know what you think and if you've enjoyed my video, and let me know what you've been working on, and I'll see you shortly. Bye for now.